On this day, June 18th, 1977, the World Color Press Day presents Magazineland, USA, located in Sparta, Effingham, and Salem, Illinois. Welcome to Magazineland. It is with pleasure that we open our doors to you, and we hope this will be an occasion for you to remember with pleasure. We are very proud of our achievements over the years and wish to share with you our sense of achievement and fulfillment in the growth of our company. Please stay a while, enjoy yourself, and whenever you see a finely printed publication, think of World Color Press and Magazineland, USA. Clyde Oberlin, President of World Color Press. Hi, my name is Jim Broderick. I've been with World Color for 25 years, and I'm holding in my hands some of the many comic magazines we print. Would you like to see how a comic magazine comes into being? Then let me personally take you on a June 18th anniversary tour through Magazineland, USA. Stay close, and I'll explain things as we go along. You're going to see some things that took time to grow. We didn't start overnight. We've been around since 1900. Before a comic book can be printed, the ideas, artwork, and stories must be first created. Would you like to see an editorial office? No sooner said than done. The first step towards publication is taken in the editor's office, where a plot conference takes place between editor and writer. Once a storyline or plot is established, the writer does a script. The script is given to an artist selected by the editor, who does pencil layouts according to the script's direction. A magazine content must be ready months before you, the public, sees it. This stack of original art, which comprises one magazine, must go through the process of engraving, printing, and distribution, and that takes time, which means constant deadlines for editors, artists, and writers. This is a typical publicator's office, like DC or Marvel, Archie Comics, or Harvey. In pencil form, the artwork is lettered. Captions, balloons, and panel borders are done. Into the wee hours of the night, the artist works, finishing his pencils with ink. In the finished form, the art is reproducible, camera ready. Hope we didn't disturb you. We'll be going now. See you in the funny papers. Yeah, Jim. See you. Our plant here in Sparta, Illinois contains more than 500,000 square feet of space, housing everything that's necessary to print magazines. On June 18th, 1948, ground was broken for construction, and we've been building and adding ever since. The photography department is first to process the original artwork, reducing it to magazine size. Special cameras and high-power arc lights assure sharp, clear reproductions. Developed negatives are then checked over lighted tables through magnified viewers to catch any mistakes or corrections. At this point, black and white prints are made for coloring, then to be etched onto metal plates. Here you see a man operating a router which cleans excess metal off the engraving. Fine hand tooling is done to the engravings for final corrections, to make certain the reproductions will be close as possible to the original artwork. Don't work too late, fella. Night work's bad for the eyes. That's okay, Jim. I like night works. You know, that fellow in the photo department looked familiar. Oh well, let's go into the stereo department. No, this isn't sound stereo. This is where the flat plate is converted into a curved stereo type to be placed on high-speed presses. A matrix or a mat, a cardboard-like substance, is applied to the original plate, molded into a cylinder. Then, the stereo is plated to make a harder surface for the printing process. Here are the finished stereotype plates, almost ready to be locked into the presses. But first, the stereos have to be cleaned, routed for any imperfections or mistakes. We'll leave these routers working and go into the next room. I wonder when the next tour comes through, Robin. Holy offset press, Batman! We better get these plates done. The presses are ready to roll. These are the specially designed giant presses, used to turn out the various magazines on your newsstand. Hundreds of different magazines are printed here, in the form of billions upon billions of copies. Every year, these processes are improved upon, in an attempt to continually raise the quality level. The pressman, that ink devil's cap he's wearing probably dates back to the Gutenberg, is looking the stereos into their positions. Let's stop here and have a look at this World Color Family album. It's a trip to the past, the story of how it all began. This building housed the first printing company specializing in producing comics. Some of the first syndicated comic strips in history were developed in the offices below. Slim Jim, Little A Sid, The Chinese Kid, and Major Zone were used by hundreds of leading newspapers throughout the country. Artists like Rube Goldberg, Huey Wellington, George Harriman, and Lehman Young started on their road to success here. Comics were always an integral part of the world color picture. Here is the editorial and art department. Here we have the composing room. Then you have one of the early presses at World Color, as well as the matte molding in the original stereo casting section. And then you have packaging and mailing, which was a hand job for many years. Then you have the general office. Notice the indirect lighting. And then you have the routing room. Here we have Ross Messing Sr., owner and founder of World Color Printing Company. In 1933, led by Mr. Messing and Bob Grable, World Color pioneered in color comic books, one of the first which is being held by Mr. Messing above. Over a period of years, the popularity of comic books grew. In 1940, a building containing 35,000 square feet of floor space was erected and devoted entirely to comic book printing. Groundbreaking for the comic book printing plant on August 15th, 1940. One of the original Hess and Barker presses, from printing on paper bags to colored comics. Part of the 35,000 square feet housing presses, stereotype equipment, and other facilities to produce comic books. World Color owes success to people, the machines that produce the best magazines and periodicals today, looking forward to doing more of the same in the future. We've grown a lot since those early days, and the rolls of newsprint paper behind me are just an indication of the number of printed publications turned out by World Color Press. After all, it's paper that tells the story, that carries the message, the heart of the printing business. These paper rolls are so heavy that they can be moved only by means of heavy motorized forklifts. The press person checks out all the paper locations on the press, locks them in, and we're ready to roll. Say, miss, you seem to know your work pretty thoroughly. How long have you been on the job? Oh, I've been around a while, Mr. Broderick. This press is devoted to printing comic magazine sections. It prints on both sides and folds two complete 32-page comic magazine body sections simultaneously. In operation, this press can turn out 40,000 magazines per hour. Register is the most important factor in high-speed color printing, since all four colors must print preciously on the mark in order to produce a clear image. The responsibility for quality by World Color and improvement is our watchword. A senior pressman stands on an elevated platform and orchestrates the entire operation. At the press spout, printed copies are issued ready for the binding process. Magazines are stacked, prepared to be run through the stapling machines for binding. Are you sure you can handle that stack? Not too heavy, is it? No problem, Jim. Can you imagine what would happen if the following procedure was done by hand? Aside from the problem of delivery time, stacking each section, collating pages, putting covers on magazines, and preparing for stapling. The cost would be prohibitive. Indeed, it would be questionable as to the possibility of ever completing a magazine on a monthly basis. Stapling, folding, restacking. In the bindery, magazines are lined up row by row, automatically on seemingly endless lines of staplers. Machines collate covers and inside in proper consecutive order and staple magazines together automatically. Trim, clean, set magazines are now ready to be bundled for distribution. Say, better watch yourself on that trimmer. It's not for paring fingernails, you know. Special boxes and bundles are constructed and prepared in which to ship the completed magazines. They are marked for distribution all over the United States and Canada.
They've got a long way to travel, and they've got to get there in perfect shape. Carefully, the magazines are sorted and packed, taped, boxed, numbered. Then by means of conveyor belt, they're moved into the shipping department. Stacked almost to the ceiling, the boxed magazines wait, but only for a very short time. Just outside the shipping warehouse are the railroad sidings and the truck platforms, where deliveries begin. Now, the results of weeks and months of painstaking effort will begin arriving to you, wherever you are, all over the country. Well, this is the end of the tour, but it's not the end of the story. And where we go from here depends on you. In the future, new ideas, new characters, new comic magazines will continue to be produced in greater quantities, and we at World Color will be printing them for you. Founded under the name World Fair Color Printing Company for the St. Louis World's Fair in 1903, World Color started as a local commercial printing business. Today, it's different. From Sparta to Salem to Effingham, centered in Illinois, World Color has developed into an international printing company. It majors in of the specialized areas of the magazine, distributing millions of issues per week on the lowest cost, high efficiency basis. So from all of us at Sparta, Salem, and Effingham with World Color Press, thank you all for watching.